It's me again. Not long to go, I promise. I hope you've been able to maybe do the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 task. If you haven't got round to it yet, no worries at all, because you can just choose to do the task in whatever order you decide to, especially if you're having to arrange to maybe do it with people over a video. I'm obsessed with numbers this week for some reason, so our next task is to do with numbers as well, but this time you're going to use a dice. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to think about 6 movements or 6 words. So mine, for example, are slice, pause, drop, repeat, slice, pause, drop, repeat, jump, and a gesture. So a gesture could be anything that you do with your hands. So a wave could be a gesture. Anything that you really, handshake or something. So for this purpose, it could be any 5 words you want. It could be that it's 5 different action words, or it could be just 5 words. So it could be heavy, slow, drop, anything you want. Once you've written those down, I want you to then number them. You don't have to go top to bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could choose to have the second one there as number 6. So mash them out a bit, just so you've got a number against one of your chosen words or a chosen movement. It's entirely up to you what you choose to do, whether you want to choose words or already have 6 movements in mind. It could even be that you use the movements you've had beforehand and then just add another extra one in from the game that we've played, or maybe if you haven't played it yet, just that kind of idea. You could have it as an add-on. From there, I want you to get a dice. Don't worry if you don't have dice at home. I don't. For some reason, they've all gone missing, like they always do. So I've downloaded an app. So it is literally just a dice app. I'll show you on here. And so I've just chosen it to roll 1 dice at a time, just so that it can give me the order that I'm going to do it in. And you are going to essentially roll it 8 times. So I rolled it earlier, and it came out as a 3, a 1, a 6, a 6, 3, 1, 5, 6. So my number 3 was a drop. So was it a drop? Well, yes, it was a drop. Forgot then. So my first thing would be that I'd have to start with a drop. So it would be a drop. My number 1 was this. So at the moment, the order that I've got it in goes 3, 1. Number 6, I chose to do as repeat, so I get to repeat something that I've done. So I think I'm going to repeat the arm movement. So mine will go here, here, and just to add a bit of difference, I'm going to do it on the other side, here. So my phrase has now 3 different moves. My 4th number was repeat again. So I'm actually going to repeat the drop this time. So it goes drop, number 1. Number 6 to repeat, and then I'm going to repeat the drop. I could, however, choose to repeat the whole phrase if I wanted to. So it could be that I end up doing a drop here, here, and then my second repeat could be that I start again, so I repeat the whole thing that I've just made. Easy peasy. Number 5's roll of the dice was a 3. So I'm just getting a lot of leg work in right now. So it's a drop again. So it would then look like this. 3, 1, number 6 to repeat, number 6 to repeat, and then number 3 was my drop. Move after that was number 1. Wasn't a lot of variety in my dance for some reason. So you just do this again. And then my number 5 was my head here. And my last turn, roll of the dice was 6, so I'll repeat again. So essentially, my 8 movements are a drop, my arm movement, repeat, repeat, drop, arm movement, head, repeat. I can use that word repeat however I want. So the first time I used repeat, I just repeated the last movement that I did. But the second time it came to repeat, I repeated the whole thing that I'd just done. So it's entirely up to you what 6 movements you want, whether you want to put in a repeat, whether you want to put in a pause, because sometimes pauses within a phrase are really interesting, because you could have it as a really short pause, or you could literally just let that pause kind of escape into the whole space. So it's entirely up to you how you want to use those 6 movements. You don't have to use the movements from the game that we played. You could decide to have 6 completely different movements, or get someone else to give you some words. So they could give you words like slice, drop, fall, low, punch, step, head. It could be literally anything, and from there you've then got to think about different movements that could go to that word. It's entirely up to you how you want to do it, with either its words or the movements. Once you've done that and you've got those 8 movements, I would really like you to start to find the flow into them. You may need to put a transition into them just to make them flow a little bit, because with mine it does look a little bit static. You can really see that I'm just doing a drop, my arm, my arm. So try and think of how you might be able to now develop it into something that's a little bit more interesting than just a few moves that you've done. Once you've done that, obviously you're going to have to pause now, because otherwise it's just like verbal diarrhea from me sometimes, because I've got no one else to talk to, and as I've said a million times, if no one talks to me, I ramble for days. So I'm so sorry that it's just me going on and on and on. So once you've done that, you will then, hopefully, I've just got to check my plan. Once you've done that, fab, you're going to pause me, and then you're going to come back. So once you're back, hello, in case you have paused me. Some people might just want to listen to my voice because it's going on. I've then given you 5 different things to have a look at. Those 5 different things are a change of direction, a change in level, a change of speed, a change of your dynamic, and reverse. So in case you don't know what dynamic is, it's the way you do your movement. And so if my movement was this, that's quite simple. I could change the dynamic by doing this, so it kind of flows, or I could change it by how fast it's done, or really slow. So it's the way you do your move. So if my first move was that drop, and I wanted to change the dynamic, I could change the way my body moves through it. So I could put a roll in, or I could do it super slow. I feel like I was in a lift then. Or with the arm movement, it could be that I do it, that's normal. I could decide to do it where it twists. So it's just how it looks, or it could end up fast. So it goes into my whole body, or it could be just, just in the arm. It's how you do it. I would then like you to choose 2 of those. It's entirely up to you what you want to do with them, and where you want to use them. But what I have said is maybe choose one first of all. Find a section that you think, oh yeah, I want to do that bit, I want to change that little bit. And then you're going to put it on. Try some different ideas, because the first idea is never your best idea, because it's always the idea that you've already got in your head. I want you to have a think about, oh, I've never done this with my foot before. So it could be that you really need to think out the box. So once you've had a little play around with how you'd like to change maybe the speed or the direction of it, I then want you to put that on the end of your already made 8 movements. I don't know how long it's going to be, because it would depend on what kind of movements you've done. Once you've done that bit, I want you to choose a different one, so a second one, and a different part of that now whole extended piece. And you are then going to put that bit at the beginning. So you kind of had your original bit, that's kind of your filling of your sandwich. You're then going to change up a little bit of it to make one side. You're going to change up another part of that to make up the other side. So we've got a bit of a sandwich going on now. I love food, I'm getting hungry, that's why I'm thinking about it. So you will then have your 8 movements and 2 pieces that you've developed. Practice that, see how it feels. Can you change the direction of maybe one of the movements. So instead of it always being that I do this, could it be that I change the direction while I'm doing it? To then step backwards, to then step forwards. Yeah? So any way you want to change them, but I've given you 5 different ones to try, and it could be that you end up reversing it. So could it be that you reverse the whole thing, or is it that you reverse some of it? So if I wanted to reverse the arm, just because it's easier for you to see on the camera, instead of it going backwards with the step back, I'd step back and do it forward. So my head would kind of come forward a little bit like it's lurching. So yeah, I really want you to just have a play around with different movements. Again, same movements as before if you would like to, but you can choose your own ones and then get that developments on either side. I'd really love you to try and find a piece of music, because it really brings the dance to life sometimes, especially when you don't have anyone else to try ideas out on, because then that really can help with finding the energy and the character within that dance. So go away, have a look at some of the music that you love, or maybe find something really weird that you want, and then I would love you to video it if possible, just because again I really want to see what kind of things you've got going, and I want to be able to use your ideas, because although we're not together at the moment, I want to be able to use your ideas that we can put those into a piece, whether it's in the Midsummer Night's Dreams piece or another piece. I just really want to see what kind of things we've got and what kind of ideas we've got coming out of these, because I know you've all got some amazing creative ideas. So go away, have a look at that idea, find some music if you can. I've added a couple of ones onto the Spotify and YouTube playlist if you want to try them out, but you can choose any music that you want to. Cool. Have fun with that one.